Natalie Green was invisible by design. At 42, with short, cropped afro and an upright, formal posture, she worked nights as a private security guard at one of Atlanta's high-end corporate towers. Most people barely looked at her, just a uniform, a badge, a polite nod. But Natalie wasn't always just a night watch woman. She had once studied criminology in college, even earning top marks. But life, as it often does, carved a different path, one with family illness, financial hardship, and opportunities that slipped just out of reach. Now she spent her nights watching grainy security footage, patrolling silent floors, and sipping bitter vending machine coffee in the security room of Bailyn Tower, a building known for housing some of the city's wealthiest finance firms, including the private vaults of Torrance Investments, a discreet boutique asset manager serving ultra-high net worth individuals. No one suspected that Natalie, the quiet guard in navy polyester, would soon become the centerpiece of one of the most baffling financial disappearances in the city's history. Before we dive into today's mind-blowing story, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, so you never miss a case from Untold Crime Vaults, where the truth hides in plain sight. Natalie was sharp, though she rarely showed it. Over the years, she had observed every blind spot in the building's surveillance grid. The hallway on the 16th floor. The camera had a 12-second delay between motion sweeps. The freight elevator only scanned during business hours. She also knew which tenants didn't encrypt their internal security feeds. Torrance Investments was one of them. Their most secure asset? A custom vault room designed for private client cash reserves, art, and sometimes even physical cryptocurrency wallets. To others, the vault seemed impenetrable. But Natalie knew the truth. The firm had recently upgraded their systems, and the new biometric scanner sometimes defaulted to a backup pin entry if the fingerprint database failed. She had watched a junior associate key it in once while adjusting his glasses. He never realized she was standing down the hall. It wasn't greed. It was desperation. Natalie's younger brother, Reggie, had been diagnosed with a rare blood disorder. Treatment was possible, but at a price far beyond their means. Insurance wouldn't cover the experimental protocol, and the wait list for assistance programs was a dead end. Her security job paid enough for rent and utilities. Nothing more. She had tried loans, fundraisers, even reaching out to old college contacts. Nothing stuck. One night, sitting in the break room under flickering fluorescent lights, Natalie found herself opening the blueprints of the tower again. She didn't mean to plan anything, but her mind was already working ahead of her conscience. If she was going to do it, she couldn't just take the money. She had to vanish with it. Before Natalie acted, she rehearsed. She spent nights testing the timing between floor patrols. She left small pieces of lint or string in key doorways, markers to see if cleaning staff or other guards touched areas they shouldn't. She began modifying the building's old internal software, uploading a ghost protocol that would create camera loops during specific hours. Every step she took was buried under layers of routine. Nothing that would raise suspicion. Not yet. She also watched the vault's deposit patterns. Once a week, on Thursday evenings, a Torrance Investments courier would deliver physical cash, bundled in blue nylon sacks, untraceable and unmarked. Rough estimates, based on watching how the duffel bags were handled, told Natalie it could be up to $300,000 each time. For weeks, for Thursday nights, that would be $1.2 million. and she only needed one chance to take it all. Thursday, April 18th. Rain splashed against the lobby glass like static on a broken screen. Inside, Balin Tower was nearly silent. Natalie sat in the security room, her eyes fixed on the monitors, but her mind rehearsed every step of the plan. 11:12 p.m. The Torrance courier arrived early. Natalie had already disabled the elevator's floor alert for level 17, where Torrance's vault was located. The moment the elevator doors closed behind the courier, she initiated the loop protocol. The security footage would show an empty hallway on repeat for the next 47 minutes. She put on her windbreaker, just like she always did for night patrol, and followed the freight elevator up using the service shaft access. Inside the vault hallway, the biometric scanner blinked red. As expected, it defaulted to PIN entry. Natalie keyed in the code she'd memorized weeks earlier. The door clicked open. She didn't pause. 2 duffel bags sat on a rolling dolly just inside the vault. Blue nylon, exactly like the ones from every Thursday drop. Natalie took both bags, exited the room, and relocked the door using an internal failsafe, a feature designed to prevent accidental lockouts. Back in the freight elevator, she descended to the sub-basement, where trash pickups were scheduled every Friday morning. She placed the bags inside a clean trash bin, removed the camera chip from the hallway entrance, and returned upstairs as if nothing had happened. By 12:02 a.m., Natalie was back at her desk, sipping coffee, watching reruns of old detective shows. Natalie didn't come to work the next day. She didn't call, didn't text. The security office at Balin Tower was puzzled, but not alarmed. Guards quit all the time. It wasn't until Monday that Torrance Investments discovered the vault had been breached. The footage was useless. Every angle showed a quiet hallway, an untouched vault door, and empty lobby spaces. The only oddity? The night shift guard had failed to check in twice during that window, something she had never done before. By the time police were notified, Natalie Green was already 4 states away. She'd taken a bus to Alabama, rented a car using a license under the name Diana Ford, and driven to a rural farmhouse once owned by her grandmother, now long abandoned but still standing. Hidden inside the walls was $1.2 million in cash, wrapped in plastic and sealed inside paint buckets. The investigation began quietly but turned into a media storm within 2 weeks. News channels ran headlines. Security guard steals $1.2 million, leaves no fingerprints. Perfect heist or inside job. Atlanta's ghost guard. How did no one notice? Natalie's records were clean. No criminal history. No prior signs of instability. To investigators, this made the crime even more baffling. Detective Malik Dorsey, a 20-year veteran with Atlanta PD, was assigned to the case. Dorsey became obsessed. This wasn't an impulse, he told reporters. She had a plan, but what we can't figure out is how she disappeared so completely. They interviewed co-workers, checked her apartment, followed the financial trail, but there wasn't one. Natalie had left no digital signature, no sudden purchases, no online searches linking her to vaults or building blueprints. Even Reggie, her brother, claimed to have no idea she was capable of anything like this. He hadn't seen her in months. She always kept to herself, he told reporters, but she was a good person. She wouldn't do something like this unless she had no choice. Back in the farmhouse, Natalie wasn't idle. She had created a series of dead drops, sealed packages hidden in parks, libraries, and in used mailboxes in small towns between Alabama and Tennessee. Each contained small donations: $2,000 to a women's shelter, $1,500 to a community health clinic, $3,000 to a local school art program. All were sent anonymously. No fingerprints, no trace. Inside her farmhouse, she kept a burner laptop, used only once per week on a rotating VPN to check the health status of her brother through a backdoor into the clinic system. She never withdrew large amounts of money, just enough to survive, just enough to not get noticed. But her silence couldn't last forever. Months later, a man named Silas Hart came forward, a former IT contractor at Balin Tower. He told investigators he once worked with Natalie years ago, said they shared ideas about system vulnerabilities, digital loopholes. She always thought it was ironic, he said, that she protected the same places that would never protect her. He claimed they stayed in touch. But now she'd gone silent. Detective Dorsey used a tip to track down Natalie's old digital habits. They eventually found a buried folder on her old work laptop, one disguised as a language tutorial. Inside were encryption protocols, password patterns, references to alternate identities, and a single video recording. In the video, Natalie sat in her uniform, calm, poised, almost smiling. "I know what I did was wrong," she said, "but I also know I didn't have another choice. The world is built for those with power, and I've lived without it my whole life. I didn't do this for revenge. I did it to reclaim what was stolen from people like me. You'll never find me, but maybe you'll start asking the right questions." The video ended. The FBI got involved the next day. 2 years later, Natalie has never been found. Despite the efforts of law enforcement, cyber agents, and bounty hunters, she remains a phantom. But the mystery surrounding her disappearance sparked something bigger. Non-profits across the Southeast began receiving anonymous donations. Advocacy groups for prison reform and healthcare justice started naming their funds after fictional aliases. Diana for Memorial Grant, Green Code Recovery Initiative. Natalie's name became an urban legend. Some claimed she fled to Belize. Others said she was hiding in plain sight, disguised as a teacher or aid worker. A few believed she died, but no one could prove anything. In a world where wealth buys invisibility, Natalie Green flipped the system on its head. She didn't use violence. She didn't crave fame. She didn't even keep the money. All she wanted was control, just once in her life. And she got it. The security guard who walked into the night and never came back.